live from the KWQC Broadcast Center in downtown Davenport with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on QCL, Quad City Music Guild is bringing the iconic musical Gypsy to the stage. We'll meet two of the stars at the show and find out why you don't want to miss this final weekend of performances.
From faster recoveries to longer-lasting results, joint replacement surgery isn't what it used to be. Orthopedic specialist is here busting the biggest myths to get you moving again.
And it is an Alternating Currents takeover, how the festival is expanding even more this year, stretching further into downtown Rock Island and Bettendorf. And that's where we kick things off on this Wednesday, August 13th. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Morgan Otier.
And I'm Kyle Keel. Alternating Currents, of course, officially starts tomorrow. The four-day festival across multiple downtowns includes music, art, film, and, of course, the comedy.
Yes, and one additional highlight is the Made Indie Market, offering unique, handcrafted, and one-of-a-kind items from local vendors. Today, we're joined by two of those makers, Heather Jameson, owner of Queen of Hearts, and Nikki Steinbaugh, owner of the Macabre Librarian. Thank you both, ladies, for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we really appreciate it, you coming in and speaking on Alternating Currents and being part of this.
Yeah.
So, Nikki, we'll start with you today. Talk a little bit more about Made Indie Market and its role kind of throughout Alternating Currents.
Yeah, so Made Indie Market is just this great, one of the most well-organized markets, I would say, in the Quad Cities area. That's usually in East Moline, but during Alternating Currents, it's right there on 2nd Street in Pershing, and it brings a huge variety of vendors to the downtown area doing all sorts of different crafts. So.
Yeah, it looks like you had a big turnout last year for it. So,
nice,
Heather, can you tell us where and when we can catch the Made Indie Market?
This Saturday from 10 to 4.
10 to 4,
Yep.
as you mentioned, 2nd and Pershing.
Yep.
They're in downtown Davenport. So roughly how many vendors are you going to have at the fair?
I think there's 60 this
60?
show. Yeah.
There's
All right.
a lot.
Yeah.
It's all the way down part of 2nd Street and then on to Pershing, so at a little L.
And I'm guessing you've got a variety of different vendors. From you guys have the jewelry and the books, but I'm sure we can get a lot of different of the arts and everything else.
Yeah, I think artists, paintings, vendors like vintage clothing vendors, stuff like that. So they'll have a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I've gotten the opportunity to go before. We just had some video up on the screen of kind of what everything looks like, all the tents really like lining East 2nd Street there downtown. It's a really fun market to walk through. You can spend a ton of time there looking at everything. They even have like dried flower bars where you can make like, you can make something like that. I purchased items from one of those vintage vendors last year, like clothing items, like a belt.
Vintage
and like,
clothing is in.
I love it so, I love it so much. So enough about all of that. We want to talk a little bit more about your businesses. So tell us about Queen of Hearts. You brought some items with you here today.
So I do handmade earrings and necklaces. I put them on playing cards, kind of hence why I came up with the name Queen of Hearts.
Those are cool.
That is
Thank
such
you.
a cute idea.
Yeah,
I love
thanks.
that.
I'm all about like reusing things, any purpose. So yeah. I also do resell on like Harley Davidson items, vintage belt buckles, like other jewelry. So yeah, it's just really fun. I love it.
It's beautiful, and thank you again for bringing these items with you here today. You do such a wonderful job. I've been hearing about Queen of Hearts now for years. What got you into wanting to do this for yourself?
I just love to travel, and I took a trip down like to the Southwest and was really inspired by like the jewelry down there. So I kind of wanted to bring something like that here to the Quad Cities. And then I kind of started doing this chainmail necklace patterns too, and it's just really fun.
And how does your style influence the jewelry that you make?
Well, we ride motorcycles, so I feel like, you know, that whole culture and fashion really influenced my business.
Yeah.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about your business, Nikki. You're talking about the Macabre Library.
Yeah, so I have been a bookseller for over a decade now. I decided to strike out on my own and do pop-ups. I tested a number of items on people, and this is what people responded to by far the most.
The people.
Yeah, this is what stuck with people. It's everyone likes a surprise, right? So you don't know what you're getting, but there's a book in there selected for you, little description of the plot. You get tea to drink while you read your book, and some of our tea now is locally grown, harvested, and blended.
Love that.
Yes, by the Herbalist Cottage Apothecary. So that adds so much value to our products.
Yeah. Well, we've had you on the show before.
Yes.
And we've had your books on the show before when other businesses come and they use your books as props and things like that. I mean, these are so well done. They look beautiful. And you know me, I can never get
Yes.
enough. So I always have to read. I always have to read them, a few of them, to everybody, because it's hard to see on camera, but it kind of tells you a little bit on the front exactly what you're getting into when you open the book without telling you what book you're picking. Hence, blind date
with the book.
So this one's a thriller. English countryside getaway goes awry when old wounds between friends are reopened and someone else lurks in the forest. I mean, I just love that. Do you write those yourself
Yes,
as well?
I love
You
writing
do?
the descriptions.
I bet you that's fun.
Yep, I
Loved
pick
it.
them all, write the descriptions, put them together.
That is
And
so
the tarot
cool.
card also has something to do with the plot of the book as well. So I select from different tarot decks.
So cool.
Really?
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
love how much thought goes into it.
It's a neat
for
concept.
both of you.
Yeah.
I mean, with the playing cards as like the backdrop to your jewelry and all of this, I think it's so impressive, that what you've done. And this is just 2 out of more than 60 vendors that are going to be at
I
the
mean,
Made
yeah,
in
you can
Market.
spend a lot of time at both of their booths and really make a whole day out of the market. So
Yeah.
I'll talk a little bit more about what you have at your pop-ups, because you have a lot of unique items, unique bookmarks.
Yes, I actually have bone bookmarks. I didn't
Bone
bring them with me
bookmarks,
today,
okay.
but there's a business called Morbid and Mortified who does bone jewelry. She actually forages all the bones herself, cleans them, and then makes them into art. And I asked her to make bone bookmarks for me because I just really love her stuff.
I love
I was
that.
like, we gotta have that. It fits perfect with the Macabre Librarian.
yeah.
So I have that. Sometimes I have hand-bound books by local artists, and I have tote bags that are anti-book banning ones. You can buy them, and then $5 goes to the Midwest Running Center or to
very cool.
Rescued.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
we try to give back a little bit to different businesses as we
nice.
do different products.
Yeah, that's great. What's your favorite part about getting to be part of all of this and the Made Indie Market?
I mean, just meeting everyone. It's so cool. Like, I just met her today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love you. Like, it's so fun. It's just really cool community. Like, you make lifelong friends.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you as well, before we wrap up with you ladies, Nikki, you've been part of this before.
Yes.
Describe the impact of last year's Made Market there during Alternating Currents. And it was a really big deal to a lot of small businesses.
Oh, it was huge. I think it really expanded our reach, and if it expanded our reach, it expanded at least 60 other businesses' reach. It just kind of brought the street to life, and every single one of those vendors put so much thought into what they do and so much love into it, and you really can't get that anywhere else but a small handmade business.
Absolutely.
So
You're so
Very
right.
cool.
Two
Wonderful.
great examples here of exactly what you just said. So thank you. The Alternating Currents Made Indie Market is set for this Saturday, August 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Again, more than 60 independent makers and artists will be lined up along East 2nd and Pershing, otherwise known as Motor Row. Nikki and Heather, thank you so much for being here today and bringing all of your items so that we could take a closer look. We appreciate it.
Thank you
for
your
having
time.
us.
Yes, have a
course.
great weekend. Hope
Yeah.
for a great market here on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yes.
All right, well, coming up on QCL, from a silent disco under the lights to colorful public murals. Rock Island is ready to make some noise at this year's Alternating Currents Festival. Why it's the perfect place to kick things off next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Starting tomorrow, Alternating Currents has taken over multiple downtowns, and Rock Island will again be one of the festival's hubs of activity.
It sure will. From live music and block parties to mural painting and car shows, even professional wrestling. You saw that there in the teaser.
Yep.
There's truly something for everyone. And joining us now is Jack Cullen, Executive Director of the Rock Island Downtown Alliance. Jack, welcome back to the show. I know you are very pumped here for this weekend.
Thanks for having me. Yeah,
Yes.
it's one of the best weekends in the Quad Cities.
In the region, I just feel like I'm hearing that more and more. Like, we are drawing so many people in from other parts of the area and other states even. So that is very cool to hear.
really is.
But give us kind of an overview of the festival specific to Rock Island, because this is what, the 5th year that
It
you're
is.
involved?
Yeah, we ripped the Band-Aid off in 2021
Okay.
and made it a bi-state festival.
Nice.
Yeah.
And have trying to, strategically expand programming ever since then to where we are now in 2025, and excited to kick off the festival on Thursday night.
Yeah, so it all starts tomorrow night. Block party at Arts Alley.
Yes, it is going to be a packed house in Arts Alley in terms of the offerings that we have. We've got a great band, Siri Larice, who's originally from the Quad Cities, is now in LA.
Yes.
She'll be
She's
back.
wonderful.
Kicking off at 5 p.m.
Okay, great.
We'll have Icons doing beverages there. Huckleberry's doing a pop-up food tent.
Oh,
We'll have a
nice.
variety of family-friendly activities. Quad City Arts is doing a gallery opening. there's something for everyone. And the vendor stalls that we introduced during the holiday season last year will be full of 2 visiting businesses too. So we're excited for all of that activity to kick off the festival and kick off the weekend.
Yeah.
And you're utilizing, you may have just mentioned this and I missed it, but Schwiebert Park as well on the stage there. You're going to have a brass band going on. I mean, it just seems like you got all the nooks and crannies covered.
Yes.
And that's just for the kickoff evening.
So the energy is starting in Arts Alley. And then we're looking to shift things across First Avenue, across Great River Road to Schwiebert Riverfront Park. We've got a awesome band from New Orleans, 7-piece New Breed brass band, which will bring a lot of sound and activity to Schwiebert Park. And then we're going back to Arts Alley after that show for Silent Disco Under the Lights.
Oh, that'll be cool.
And a neat digital art projection on a wall in Arts Alley. So in addition to the large-scale murals that were added to that space last year, we'll have some projection art there for folks to enjoy while they're rocking out to Silent Disco.
And we talked about that, I believe it was Monday with QC Arts, about that really cool projection installation, and that's done by a local artist, which I think is just wonderful.
It is Bruce Walters.
Yes, and we're seeing what Silent Disco looks like right now. We've talked about it on the show before, but I mean, this is very cool because people don't know what you're listening to, right? You put the headphones on.
You gotta find your people.
Yeah.
Bingo, there's 3 channels, so three DJs doing their thing, and the headsets are color-coded. So red, green, and blue, I think.
Okay.
So you'll see people dancing around you, and you can recognize if they're dancing to the same tune with the color-coded headset.
Unless they have 2 left feet, like me.
Like me as well,
then you may not know what they're listening to. It could be ballroom music for all.
Right.
But that's why we say there's something for everyone. You know, because there truly is. Whether you want loud brass band on the riverfront or kind of get into your own zone doing Silent Disco.
Yeah, and then Sunday. So you are marking the finale of Alternating Currents also in downtown Rock Island, and some very different offerings as well on Sunday.
Yeah, this will be the 2nd year that we partner with the CCKMA Car, Bike, and Jeep show. And so we've got live music out in front of Steve's Old Time Tap as part of that car show to kick things off. Professional wrestling at Wake, which starts on Saturday, and then round 2 is Sunday.
That's a sight you got to see.
It really is.
It's awesome, and it's, I think, a cool part of our culture and brand here in the Quad Cities that we have that pro wrestling. And then this is unique too. Live performances at the Quad City Botanical Center, which is something that you can't see all the time.
All year round,
and so we're excited about bringing a couple of bands, including local act Sub-Atlantic, to the Botanical Center that day. And then we have some film screenings later on in the evening to wrap things up as well at the Circa 21 Speakeasy.
What a beautiful thing.
Yeah, going in with a bang in downtown Rock Island, going out with a bang. So why was it important to kind of bookend the weekend with all these great events for everyone to enjoy?
Yeah, we're picking our spots on Thursday and Sunday. There's a lot of programming throughout the weekend. There's so many participating venues across the Quad Cities, the bulk of it in downtown Davenport. And so we're trying to carve out our niche on Thursday and Sunday.
I love that idea.
You know, to promote exploration in downtown Rock Island in support of our businesses. And the fun thing that we're adding too is pedicab rides, free pedicab rides or bicycle taxi rides.
How cool.
To the different destinations.
That's fun.
Downtown on Thursday and Sunday. And not to mention 2 large-scale murals that are going up in downtown Rock Island as well as part of the festival. So a lot for folks to see and do, and we're open for business and hope the community comes out to enjoy.
Yeah, this is a wonderful opportunity, and I just have to say what a great decision I think it is to really make those bookend days, as Kyle asked you about, you know, Thursday and Sunday, and really make your mark and your footprint there. I just think it's such a great decision because then, you know, you don't have to choose where you spend the bulk of your time. You get to experience all of our communities, which is such a wonderful thing.
Exactly, and Alternating Currents, as it continues to grow, who knows, maybe a couple years from now, we're talking about a whole week.
And
or 2 weeks.
Let's make that a goal, right?
I think so.
Something that we're starting to talk about.
I think we can definitely do it as it continues to grow and expand here over the years. So if you want to learn more about the ways that you can support the vibrancy of downtown Rock Island, it's always changing and continues to change. You can visit downtownrockisland.org/downtown-alliance. And if you want to build your own schedule for this weekend, whether it's in downtown Rock Island, Davenport, or Bettendorf, you can download the AC app at alternatingcurrents.com/AC app. We've got the QR codes on the screen, and of course you can find find all this information on our website, kwqc.com. Jack, as always, thanks for joining us, and have a blast starting
Thanks so much for having you.
Yeah,
for having me.
We'll see you out there. Yeah. Still to come on QCL, we continue our Alternating Currents takeover with a look at the way the festival is expanding now in Bettendorf with more events and live music to enjoy. We'll get a preview next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Downtown Bettendorf is bringing its own flavor to the 4-day Alternating Currents Festival, from live music at multiple locations to a brand new mural in the making. Joining us is Ryan Jancy, Executive Director of the Downtown Bettendorf organization. Ryan, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. When you're on the show, we know we have something really cool to talk about all the time. You guys are doing more and more things every year in downtown Bettendorf, and really showing, I think, folks across the Quad Cities that it is a space that we can enjoy and have fun, especially with the new I-74 corridor and all the work that's going on down there. But first, let's start with why your team feels it's important that Bettendorf really be part of this regional festival.
Well, we continue to grow as a downtown, like you said, right? And the I-74 bridge is the center point of it. We're creating an urban park underneath it, and hopefully we see some development on the west side of the bridge down there. And so we just want to make sure that we're a part of this festival as we continue to grow as a downtown, and remind people that we are open for business in downtown Bettendorf.
You absolutely are, and it does seem like, year after year, you kind of, you dip your toe in at first, and then once you kind of get that under your belt, you continue to expand, and that really seems to be evident with this lineup this year in Bettendorf.
That's right. Business owners see what Alternating Currents can bring to their front door, and they want to be a part of it.
Yeah, they definitely do. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about specifics, starting with Thursday's kickoff.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about the schedule for Thursday. There's quite a bit.
Yeah, Thursday, you may be surprised to come into K&K to pick up your screws and nuts, and there's going to be live music playing in K&K at 11 o'clock. Starting at 11, we're going to have Jordan Danielson, and then Beth Lozano will follow at K&K. So we're excited. That's what's great about Alternating Currents. You're going to see live music in venues where you don't it's unique, right? Yeah. So in the nut aisle, you're going to see some live music playing down there. And then we're going to follow it up with Verde, contemporary Mexican cuisine. We're going to have Lojo Russo playing on their patio outside of Verde that Thursday night.
Yeah, all amazing local regional artists.
That's right.
That I think many of us have had the opportunity to listen to if you're a Quad Cities native. So we know they're fabulous, and so those are great gets for Bettendorf, and I think should definitely draw a crowd. And then Friday, some really great things happening. A pop-up lunch with Floyd's.
Yep.
Floyd's is a favorite.
Yep, everybody knows Floyd's, right? So great place to get yourself a giant burger, listen to some music at Adventurous Brewing. New this year, we have an outdoor stage at Adventurous Brewing. We're excited for that. So on that lunch menu, we'll have Alexa Mueller playing and Fell Pup 5. You can see on the schedule there. And then we return back to Adventurous Brewing on Sunday with Company Dimes and Coffin Flop.
I love the band names.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they?
They're all really fabulous. So Bettendorf, we were talking with Rock Island, downtown Rock Island, just in the last segment. Bettendorf also has its own mural project. That's right. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we're super excited for that. That's going on the brand new Bulldog Arms, which moved into the old Bettendorf Library there at 2211 Grant Street.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a housewarming gift for them, if you will. They're super excited for it. Dominic, let me see his name right. Dominic Laporte out of Ottawa is the artist, and just amazing work he's doing down there, bringing that wall to life, adding new color to our downtown is exactly what we want, and we're excited for it.
And a fellow Canadian, I might add. Can we talk a little bit about public art? That really seems to be a huge focus this year for Alternating Currents. I mean, we're really amping it up with all the murals and things. Describe the importance there when it comes to activating a downtown.
Right. So we want people to slow down and be a part of our downtown, right? Walk around, experience it. The arts help do that, right? Instead of just a concrete jungle for you to speed through. I'm seeing it already. The mural that we put up down there is against the one way, but you see it in your rearview mirror and it really pops off the building, and it's like, what is that? And so it makes you want to go back and experience that. And then that point too, maybe experience a new business where that mural is at, right? Yep,
you are going straight to where I was going and talking a little bit about why festivals like this, events like this are so important to downtown businesses.
Yep. So it's new. You may see that Bulldog Arms become your new favorite place to hang out, right?
And you didn't even know it before.
All because you went and stopped and checked out the mural, right? So that's what's great about Alternating Currents is find your new normal, if you will.
Yeah, I love it. It gets people in the door, or it gets you to listen to a new artist.
That's right.
So yeah, all of it is good stuff, and it's a good thing to be a part of. So the Downtown Bettendorf organization, they're really focused on revitalizing downtown Bettendorf. They're enhancing the area as a place to visit, as Ryan mentioned, shop, live, play. If you want to learn more about that group, visit downtownbettendorf.org. And of course, if you want to curate your entire 4-day Alternating Currents experience, be sure to download that app. Just head to alternatingcurrentsqc.com/AC app, or there we have the QR code on your screen. Ryan, thank you so much for chatting with us about all the fun we have in Bettendorf this weekend.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
Hopefully our adventures at Alternating Currents cross paths this weekend.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And still to come in our second half hour, we've got lots to talk about, especially this. If you think that you are too young or too old for joint replacement surgery, think again. We're going to separate fact from fiction in our myth-busting segment, How Fun, with orthopedic specialists. Plus, performances of Gypsy are underway at the Quad City Music Guild Theater. Why you don't want to miss this beloved Broadway musical. And later, book clubs are back at the Cole Valley Public Library. We're going to show you how there is something special for every age, from toddlers to teens and adults.
And if you've stepped outside today, it certainly feels a little more comfortable as we're catching a break in that humidity. Temperatures not too bad either, low 80s across the region, but we're heating things up this weekend just in time for all the activities for Alternating Currents. We'll have a look at that weekend forecast, talk about a couple First Alert days coming up in your First Alert forecast in the next half hour of Quad Cities Live.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel.
It has certainly turned out to be a very nice day across the QCA. Everywhere Camera Network shows plenty of blue sky and sunshine. Very little in the way of those fair weather clouds in Burlington. And you'll notice on the Bettendorf camera, we always look to that to see what the wind is doing. And the answer is not doing much. If there is a little bit of wind, it's out of the north at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But eventually we see that wind switch back to the south. That's going to open up the Gulf for more moisture to move in. And that's also going to heat up our temperatures as well, as high temperatures Saturday and Sunday will be in the low 90s. Dew points back in the mid to upper 70s. So yes, that's going to create dangerous heat out there. Heat index between 100 and 110 possible. So First Alert days will be in effect from noon until 7 o'clock both Saturday and Sunday. Be sure to take your heat precautions and listen to your body and stay plenty hydrated. There's a look at the Muggy meter. Tonight, we'll call it very comfortable. We'll have overnight lows close to 60 degrees in some locations. We're back into the muggy to humid category tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures still low to mid 80s, not too bad, but you'll really start to notice it here Friday, and especially as we head into the weekend as we get those oppressive dew points back into the 70s. Actual air temperatures will be in the low to mid 90s here on Saturday. Similar situation heading into Sunday. One change is that we took the rain chances out. It looks like the better chance for rain and storms will come late Sunday night and especially here into Monday and Tuesday next week as that heat dome begins to kind of break down. So by Friday afternoon, no First Alert day. Still plenty hot though. It feels like temperatures between 90 and 100 degrees. Not enough to really hoist that First Alert day, but here heading into Saturday, we'll have heat index between 100, potentially 110, 111 degrees. So that's why we're getting those First Alert days out there, because this is some dangerous heat like we've been through many times this summer. We'll have similar heat index here, or feels like temperatures, as we head into Sunday. As for right now though, very nice high pressure anchored over to our north. That's giving us some very quiet conditions over the next 24 hours as low temperatures tonight fall down into the lower 60s. Highs tomorrow back into the low to mid 80s. Feels like temperatures very close to that actual air temperature, and really we're going to remain the same here as we head into Friday as far as the sky conditions goes. We're not really going to see any rain until we get Sunday night into Monday, so that takes into account the 5-day rainfall forecast. Notice most of it's going to fall on the north. That's where that ring of fire is going to kind of set up, but that's going to start to track a little farther south here as we head into Monday, as that heat starts to break down just a bit. That is highlighted here on our next 7. We've got the First Alert days here this weekend. Storms move in late Sunday into Monday and potentially into Tuesday.
When you hear the words joint replacement, you might picture hospital stays, scars, maybe future restrictions to certain activities. But much of what we think we know is actually outdated. Advances in technology and surgical techniques, they've changed joint replacement dramatically over the past 2 decades. Joining us today is Dr. Brian McGowan from Orthopedic Specialists. Thank you for coming back here, Dr. McGowan. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I love this idea for the segment. So he's here to bust the 5 most common myths about joint replacement surgery, which I just think is such an easy, digestible thing, because you know folks out there, they have all kinds of questions and maybe they're a little bit too timid to ask, or they just already think they know the answers. Okay, so starting with this one, these are quotes. I am too young for a joint replacement.
Yeah, this is a common thing that we hear when evaluating a patient for a joint replacement. You know, the average age for a joint replacement in the United States is about 66 years old, but we're seeing more and more folks in their early 50s or even late 40s coming in who are candidates for joint replacement and who maybe have been told they don't qualify for a joint replacement. But with modern techniques and modern implants, our implants are lasting longer than ever. At about 15 to 20 years, there's 90+% survivorship of these implants. So really it's about the quality of life you want during that time period, rather than saying, oh no, you have to wait till you retire and live in pain until then.
Yeah, I think maybe people would have that idea, but yeah, if you're not able to do the activities that you would normally be doing, or especially you may even have young children still, in your mid to late 40s at this point. So yeah, it's definitely a myth. The next one, in that same tone, I'm too old for joint replacement surgery.
Yeah, so kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum. There's no magic cutoff for when you become too old in terms of your chronologic age. So it's more of your overall health, your physiologic age, and a discussion of goals and what you want out of your joint replacement. But I mean, we have patients in their 80s and 90s who are getting back to gardening, living independently after a joint replacement.
That's amazing.
So it's not, there's no magic cutoff. It's an individualized thing, but I don't want anyone to think that just being in their late 70s, early 80s, or even their 90s is not a candidate because of their age.
Yeah, I think that's such a great thing to point out. I mean, if you are a person that wants to continue to be active, if you're an otherwise healthy person, it's nice to hear from a physician that you can go and talk to someone about joint replacement surgery. You can't be active after joint replacement. You say that this is a myth, and we're busting that one.
Yeah, so I'm sure people have had different friends, family who've been told, oh, they can't do this after a joint replacement. Certain things like higher impact, run or sprinting, running, marathon training, maybe not the best idea, but things like golfing, hiking, biking, swimming, even pickleball, those kind of things, all feasible after a joint replacement.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's good to know. And surgery is too risky and too dangerous.
Yeah, so, any major surgery like a joint replacement, there are risks, but modern anesthesia techniques, modern surgical techniques, our recovery protocols, the chance of a complication happening is really on the order of 1% or less for any major complication. So it's an individualized risk, but if you're appropriately optimized from a medical standpoint with the modern techniques that we have, really that risk is very low.
Okay, and that was kind of one that I think could have fallen into a couple of different categories, because when we were talking about, folks saying, I think I'm too old for joint replacement, I think that that's maybe a thought that comes to mind, is that should I be going under anesthesia, or should I be doing this at my mature advanced age? But you're saying, hey, that at least go in and talk about it, and because there have been so many advances at this point that it doesn't have to be dangerous.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you could have a patient in their 60s with a host of medical problems that's higher risk than a patient in their 80s without many medical problems. So again, an individualized risk, but no strict cutoffs for any of that in terms of when you would qualify for being a candidate.
Okay, good to know. And the final one, I should wait until the pain is unbearable before I replace that joint.
Yeah, so I think there's a happy medium. If you're not having any pain, even if you have arthritis, it's hard to make you better from no pain. So maybe not a good idea to get a joint replacement then. But on the other side of on the other end of the spectrum, you don't want to wait until you're in such severe pain that because you lose strength, you lose mobility, your deformities can increase. That can make your recovery harder. So I think the time to think about doing it is when your pain and your function starts to be impacted from your arthritis, but not when that has taken over your life and completely consumed you.
Yeah, because as you mentioned, that road to recovery can just be that much longer if you wait. great. Well, if you want to learn more about the potentially life-changing relief you can experience with joint replacement surgery, you can visit orthopedic specialists online at osquadcities.com. Dr. Brian McGowan, thank you so much for joining us on the show today and just kind of making it really easy for people to understand the whole process.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Coming up on QCL, Quad City Music Guild is gearing up for its final weekend of performances of Gypsy. Why you won't want to miss this popular musical at Prospect Park in Moline.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
Well, it's often referred to as one of the greatest musicals ever written, a story filled with ambition, heart, humor, and some of Broadway's most iconic songs. Quad City Music Guild is bringing Gypsy to the stage this month with performances already underway. Joining us today is Julie Funk, who plays Rose, along with Brian McHenrick, who plays Herbie. Thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, good to be here.
Yes, this is great. Gypsy, very popular. I mean, I think folks who may not even be that familiar with musicals and with Broadway, they've heard of it. But Julie, for anybody who kind of wants to know a little bit more, can you give us an overview of the story of Gypsy?
Sure. On the surface, Gypsy is about a remarkable, overbearing stage mother of two girls, Rose and Louise, during the 1920s and 30s, where she's trying to create a star out of her daughter June and make her a vaudeville star. And in doing so, ends up pushing her daughters away and eventually pushing one of them into becoming a burlesque dancer. So, it sounds very dark, which absolutely there's some dark
I think there are themes there, though, that like everybody can identify with.
Right, like Brian and I were talking before, like there's an underlying theme of generational trauma. But then on a lighter note, there's the theme of family. Those that you were born into and those that you create. And it's got a lot of famous songs that people will recognize. Let Me Entertain You, Everything's Coming Up Roses. So in addition to some of the darkness of subject matter, there's great, funny, comedic moments that the audience will love.
Yeah, and Brian, I wanted to ask you, what do you think makes Gypsy such a beloved musical? I mean, it's really stood the test of time.
For the theater crowd, I mean, it is a marathon for Julie's character. It is such a large role because Mama Rose is larger than life. So I think for folks who are familiar with theater, that's a huge draw to that show because those roles don't come by very often. And it's stood the test of time. It's based on a true story. So you have that connection too that people can connect with. So there's a lot there for everybody.
Tell us about your character and kind of
the dutiful, supporting boyfriend. Yes, he is the counterpoint to the larger-than-life Mama Rose. The steady, calm, supportive figure in the show, who's always there to be there for Rose and the girls until he's not. But I don't want to spoil it.
We don't. If you haven't seen it, we're not trying to spoil anything for anybody. So Julie, I read that many of the costumes were handmade. Is that true? Specifically for you? So tell us about that.
So we are so fortunate at Music Guild to have some very talented seamstress. One of which is Kathy Marsoon.
Oh yes, we love her.
Yes, she's been active in Guild for years, and she has created, I think they did 9 different costumes for Rose that they created from scratch. A few other things we pulled from the costume shop, but I think in total for this show they made 25 new original costumes.
That's
in addition
amazing.
to what they pulled from the expansive costume shop that we have at Music Guild.
I would love to see them.
Oh, they're amazing. I feel so lucky.
There you go. That's a good reason to go see the show.
I love putting them on. I feel so fortunate to get to wear them.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So the cast and crew, Brian, what's it like working alongside the entire cast and crew? Any memorable moments so far, whether it was just preparing during rehearsals? I know that you guys have already, you've had some shows already, so.
Well, it's just such a blessing being surrounded by such talent and skill. I mean, it's not just individuals who have a natural gift for it. There are other members of the cast crew put in the work and have really developed skills in acting and supporting roles.
Yeah.
So to just be in a show with them is a huge honor for me, because I am very much an amateur compared to a lot of them. But
that's okay, and I think we really have something super special with Quad City Music Guild as far as that's concerned. I mean, we were just talking about it before we started this segment, that, you know, you make it really easy and to allow newcomers. You know, the whole group does, and they kind of welcome that with open arms, like it's a family, you know, the QC Music Guild family.
Absolutely. I came to the Quad Cities originally in 2015, not knowing anybody, and I found my people at Quad City Music Guild, and I tell everyone who's looking for their place in the community, who's looking for their people, come out. If you don't want to be on stage, there's volunteer positions. There's so many ways to get active and involved, and it's such an open, welcoming group of individuals that we'll take you. Come on down.
That is super, that is super nice and reassuring, I think, to a lot of people to hear that, who want to get their foot in and do a little of this performing or even behind the scenes stuff. So that's great to hear. We want you to get your tickets to Gypsy at Prospect Park in Moline by calling the box office, or you can visit qcmusicguild.com, their website there. There's plenty of links. And you can see the musical Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. There's also a Sunday performance at 2 p.m. Julie and Brian, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm sure we'll see you again soon, because you guys are some familiar faces in the musical scene around here.
Well, thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you very much.
Always, yes. Still to come, from crafts to book clubs for every age, we'll show you how the Cole Valley Public Library is helping us transition from summer break into the new school year.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
The Cole Valley Public Library is more than books. It's also a place for fun, learning, and creativity for all ages.
Yes, it is. From toddlers to teens to adults, there's something happening for everyone as we transition from summer into fall. So joining us from the library, as always, with all the details of what's going on is Kaylee Floyd. Kaylee, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
As always, we've got a beautiful display of books to go along with the themes for the month. So let's talk about toddler time, because this is something you get to get down with the kiddos and do story time with the toddlers.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of did away with Toddler Tales going into the spring, but now we're bringing it back to fall, just to kind of get some of those little guys in the door and get them into a love of reading again. So that will be on our Thursdays, and it's a new time at 11 a.m. to kind of give room for nap times and stuff, but also get out of there by lunch. So we do different themes each week. I think our first one is not until September, but I kind of gave some examples of some popular themes. So I just brought library-themed library books
there you go.
for that one. But then, in September, I think it's like farm animals, and there's just all the different kinds that we'll have. So
so cute. Cool. Oh, I'm about to knock it off the whole table here. You can't trust
and
me.
we'll do like coloring or some sort of craft at the end of each one for the toddler
These are
tales.
30 minutes long, so this is pretty good for toddlers.
Yes, exactly.
That's
definitely
great.
their speed.
Yes. So from toddlers now to kids.
Yes, kids.
Let's talk about that kind of in this section here, correct?
So then the one with the crown is actually our Caterpillar and Monarch. To be fair, like this is picture books. So we do picture books that are usually awarded the Monarch Award. And so that's why that's the theme of the title. Yeah, exactly. So we'll practice reading the books together, taking turns, and developing a good dialogue. But then we'll do a craft that's related to the book as well. So that one's Beagle will be our first one, and we'll make the little paper crown, and they get to customize it.
Oh, that's fun.
And there might be some other activities with it as well.
Glue and glitter.
Yes.
Can't go wrong with kids, right?
And then Eagle Eye Readers is for our 4th and 5th grade ages, and this is their first book for the September one, but then below is kind of like some of our ones that will be in our catalog that they'll get to vote for the rest of the month.
Oh, we love a vote.
Yes.
All right, I know they're going to probably get it. Yep, I knew they were going to get a shot at it. The Last Kids on Earth.
Yeah, so I'm excited to start that one. It seems like a good a good one to go into September, but then also like it's zombies, so good for October activities too.
Get us all excited for Halloween.
Zombies are in, that's for sure. true. So from kids, we go to teens, and we're talking pizza to kind of entice the teens to get to the library.
They had such a good time last year. It was so good. These are actually all the books that we read last year.
Oh, that's
and so it's kind of a nice variety. I also let them kind of give input, but I also like to give them a variety, give them graphic novels, give them historical fiction. But then, this is going to be the one we're starting with in September.
This is big. This is a big deal. Okay, so I'm needing to read this one as well. Soon because there's a show on.
Yes.
I think it's like
that's my draw. Yeah, I think you're right. Hulu or Prime.
One of the streaming services.
One of the streaming services have them.
Yes.
So I thought that would be a good one to kind of, if they've watched the show, that's all right. I'm sure the book's a little bit different.
Yeah.
And they can kind of give their own take with it
People
as well.
are loving that book.
Yes. I already had somebody place it on hold today at the library. I'm like, oh, this is for me. I'm like, no,
you
it's
were
not.
going to do it. Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, and then Margin Project book
Yes. So we've actually had the Margin Project at our library for a while, but we're kind of giving it a little revamp to start. So we'll have a group meeting on September 30th where they'll get to bedazzle one of our Margin books. So there's a couple examples up here. But yeah, the idea is that they'll take a book home and then take their time reading it and annotating on the inside, highlighting like a favorite quote or writing like what they think of like whatever the scene is going on in the chapter book. But yeah, so the idea is they'll get to do the fun craft thing and then they can pick which one they want to take home.
I'm going to move it so we can see. This is an incredible example of bedazzling.
Very nice stuff.
So we did a couple examples for you today, but there will be more opportunity for the teens to get to do that as well.
Awesome.
And it's honestly so like therapeutic to sit and do. So I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of time put into that one.
Absolutely.
It looks beautiful. So obviously from teens we go to adults now. Trying to get adults in the library as well. And you got a Creative Crafters program coming up where we get to create this beautiful masterpiece.
Yeah, so our Creative Crafters is once a month. And this month, I believe in August, we're doing the mosaic stained glass art. Sorry, not mosaic. Stained glass art. And so my coworker has chickens, so she always does chickens anytime she can for an example.
It's a beautiful piece of art.
We love a theme.
Yeah. So that will be a good one for this month.
Okay.
And you can kind of customize it however they like, and everything will be provided for them. So, yeah.
And Craft and Color hidden paper clip.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what this is, but yeah. So basically, you start with your paper clip, and it's in there. I'm like, is it in there?
I was gonna say I don't see it.
I don't see it. That's the point. You take hidden in here, but basically it's like a little bookmark or something you put in a journal to like hold your spot. But it's all custom made with different craft supplies. And honestly, we've been like wanting to use this glitter paper forever. So we're like, yes, finally.
Now you have your thing.
Yeah, I love that. And I love when we have the talking points for what Kaylee's going to talk about. You can tell when I'm like, paperclip? Tell us what it's all about.
Yeah, so that's happening on the 20th. Also on the 20th, you've got something going on, Tremendous Turtles.
Yes. So
this is cool.
Yeah, so it's our Nature Kids event hosted by the Nahant Marsh, and they're bringing in turtles for our toddlers.
Oh boy.
So definitely stop by for that one.
All right, everything going on at the Cole Valley Library located at 900 First Street in Cole Valley. You got the hours on your screen, and you can visit robertrjoneslibrary.org for all the events going on. Kaylee, as always, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Having me.
Yes, and thank you so much for watching.
Your News at 4 is coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow.